The NRL is proudly brought to you by Harvey Norman and Nissan.
Round 26 has rolled around. It's from Marathon Stadium in Newcastle. It's the Newcastle Knights at home to the Penrith Panthers. The Knights have one change. Darren Albert is off the wing. Tamana Tahu starts in his place. In jumper number 18, Daniel Abraham. The coach is Michael Hagan. The Penrith Panthers have just one minor change for their last game for the season. Carl McNamara starts in the front row in jumper number 14. Frank Poulatua reverting to the interchange bench. They're coached by Royce Simmons. Stephen Clark, this afternoon's first grade referee. 176 times he's been in charge of a first grade match. The Newcastle Knights defending the northern end of the ground. They have the advantage of a reasonable breeze in the first half, and they'll get first use of the football as we're underway. Round 26 at Marathon Stadium, and straight away Josh Perry has a touch to ease the nerves. Has the ball 20 metres out from his own line. Tremendous support here in Newcastle every time the Knights run around. Another good crowd as they play the team currently in 13th position on the table. Parsons taken slightly high there. Referee says play on. Now Kennedy, equal leading try scoring forward in the competition with Morrison. Offloads then to O'Davis. Back to Perry. They're 5 metres short of halfway now. The Newcastle Knights. Rudder, Johns working out wide. Carter going reasonably high. The crowd didn't like it. Right on the halfway line. Johns slow to his feet. We'll watch his ribs at the moment. He's in back plane trouble, Andrew Johns. Atkinson in a bit of strife. Can he get the ball? Oh, there's a high shot. Andrew Johns is really struggling back on the 40-metre line. He is in trouble. He's just getting back into position. He doesn't look well at all, does he?
No, he certainly doesn't. Getting that kick away was a great chase there by the Newcastle Knights, putting the Panthers under pressure. But Andrew Johns, there is a concern over him at the moment. It's going to be very interesting to see if he does get some attention on the field or at least at the side of the field.
It seems to be all right now. I thought it might have been the ribs at first, but maybe the highish tackle took more of a toll.
Yeah, Mark, I think that could have been the case. He may be finding it very difficult to get some air into the lungs. But I think he seems fully recovered at the moment.
Oh, a high shot on O'Davis. He kept running. Steve Carter just threw the arm out. I'm sure Clark will have a word with him when the Knights lose possession. Luckily, Robbie O'Davis is still got his head on his shoulders. Now they go wide through Mark Hughes. Good to see him back. Newcastle fans are happy he's there. And the most eventful first 2 minutes of this game. Great ball. Here's a chance. Hughes, quick hands, McDougall. Here's the support. Rudder straight through under the post. What a try for the Newcastle Knights. Steve Clark says it's a try. And a tremendous start for Newcastle. The Panthers, they just opened up.
Well, what a great start for the Knights. 3rd minute of the game. They've already got a try right under the post there. Terrific support play there by the Knights. And again, it was started by this fellow here, Adam McDougall. A nice little short ball to Andrew Johns, running straight. Great support play, good hands. McDougall finds the ball again and gives the ball to Sean Rudder. And that's not a bad place to score a try, Brett Kennedy.
Well, it certainly isn't, Turvey, but as you say, it was started by this man McDougall. I thought it was a little bit questionable, the pass to Andrew Johns, but geez, they're a very skillful side, this Newcastle side, and they back up very well. A couple of passes there were behind the players, and of course Rudder, the last man to receive the pass, straight through a gap, and it's going to be an easy attempt for Andrew Johns, who I think has just converted.
Right in front, had little trouble, as you would imagine. So it's 6 points to 0, the Knights over the Panthers. A tremendous start for Newcastle. And let's see whether the Panthers can just stay in this game and not drop their bundle too much, which sometimes happens at the end of the season.
Yeah, Mark, it's going to be interesting to see how they are, the Panthers, mentally, because, as you say, they've got nothing to gain, only a little bit of pride from this game, but if the Knights score very quickly again and get 2 or 3 tries up, we'll soon see how mentally prepared this Panthers side are, whether they'll keep fighting back or they'll just lay down.
231 points this season for Andrew Johns, tremendous. When you consider that he's missed 8 games of the year. Ben Walker on 273. Andrew Johns, I would think, would be well past him. Here's Kennedy. That's if he played all those games, of course. Offloads, back to Badiris. Now Johns stepping. The ball's on the ground behind Peden, picked up by Rudder. Back to Kennedy, didn't touch it. That time he did, and Rodwell's come up with it. Now Penrith get the football. What can they do here with Adamson? A couple of metres short of halfway. McNamara comes to the halfway line and is forced back.
Sorry, Mark, and this is one thing about the Knights. They can certainly play some razzle-dazzle football, but sometimes they've been, I guess, at the wrong end of bad completion rates, and they've given an opposition side plenty of opportunities, like the Panthers are basically capitalising on now with 35 minutes out from the Knights line.
Good ball there by Tony Pulatua. Now Gower, Rodwell, Sattler offloads back to Rodwell, who started to wrap around. Now Gower, Girdler, I should say, up the middle, just lobs the ball over the top. Now Parsons has come up with it. It's that last pass again going to ground once again for the Panthers, as it has for most of the season. Robbie O'Davis now. Here's Hughes from acting half. Greenhill had to make the tackle. There's only Atkinson stood between Hughes and the goal line. Kennedy straight at Sattler, who makes the tackle. Kennedy trying to get to his feet and gets a penalty.
Hold those legs, boys.
Scotty Sattler looks injured there on the ground. Got Adamson there. There's the replay. Adamson being penalised, holding on far too long. You can see Sattler in the background.
And what the Knights have done is played the ball quickly, and it certainly has put the Panthers under pressure. Great opportunity game for the Knights, 5 metres out.
Well, that's all too easy. Much too easy for Josh Perry from the restart. Just went straight through the middle of the Panthers forwards. And it's been a dismal year for Penrith, but that's about as low as it's got for them.
Well, what do you say? Just a simple routine, really paper-thin defence there. Perry taking 2 or 3 Panthers over the line. They score the try, Brett.
Well, Tav, I've got to say, this is disgraceful defence by the Panthers. I mean, look, fair enough, they haven't got much to play for, but geez, you'd like to think they'd have a little bit more ticker than that. That was an absolute disgrace. Josh Perry, as far as I can see, was just running the ball up with ease and suddenly found himself breaking the line and realised he was over the try line.
No excuse. Johns, 10 metres in from touch, straight between the posts, and Andrew Johns is now 9th all-time career points, going past Steve Gearin, a tremendous achievement, and he's out after Jason Taylor.
Mark, just on that, seeing Perry score that try, you said David Woods is there, Matthew Robble was there too. Certainly they're playing right and left defence, Penrith, but you would think Danny Badiris has telegraphed that you can see Josh Perry running onto the ball, that the forwards should slide the line to meet the big forwards like the Perrys of the world.
The other thing too, like we mentioned earlier, how Steve Carter this is his last game in his career. I mean, you'd like to think that the Panthers players would want to put in some sort of an effort, at least send him off with a little bit of pride.
Only had 8 minutes of play, not even 8 minutes yet, and it's 12 points to 0. The way that last try was scored is a worry for the Panthers. Newcastle had plenty of the football. Steve Simpson had over 80% of the football. Oh, juggle there from Kennedy. 29 metres out from his own line. Here's Badiris at acting half. They're getting a roll on here. Perry, ordinary ball that time, and now the Panthers have come up with possession. Exactly what Steve Mortimer was alluding to earlier. Sattler offloads to Woods. 25 metres out from the line. McNamara. 15 metres short of the goal line. Rodwell. Can the Panthers hit back? Carter. Girdler. Good tackle there made by Matthew Gidley. Girdler came back on the angle. Now Rodwell. Gower. Standing, looking to offload. Nobody's there. So he decides to kick. Here comes a flying Matthew Reek, but back there was McDougall.
Well, there was nothing much happening there, and Craig Gower elected to do a little grubber. Great support play there by the Panthers, but again, the Knights, like I said before, they've got to get full value out of their set of 6, and against a more quality side, they do that semi-final time. A quality side can absolutely nail you and penalise you coming up with tries.
Johns, long ball, Gidley lets it go. Tamana Tahu picks it up nicely. Was forced back in the tackle. Girdler up the top, around the legs was Robbie Beckett. Gidley, great ball under arms to Tamana. He's 10 metres short of the halfway line. Last tackle here for Newcastle. Johns, here comes the kick. It's over the head there of Atkinson. He has to race back. Nice bounce for him though. It is a good breeze the Knights have at their back. It's not that strong, but it certainly is advantageous for them. Good defence there from marker position from Hughes. Almost got 3 in a row. Now Woods. Some of the Panthers only just getting back into play now. Steve Carter and also Tony Puletua. 25 metres out from their own line. Penrith, centre field. Sattler plays it. Here's Adamson. Peden with the tackle. Pops it out the back. Nobody's there. Woods goes back. He's lost it. Now I better pick it up. He does. They've lost about 20 metres. And Rodwell kicks from acting half, looking for touch. Davis is there. Great field position now for the Newcastle Knights. Tamana Tahu stepping past Puletua. Carter's there with a tackle. Great ball to Rudder. Thought that might have gone forward, but he's lost it anyway. Now Girdler returns the football. Back to Puletua. It's almost touch football at the moment.
Well, again, that was pretty positive play by the Knights. A bit of razzle-dazzle, but again, that was the very first tackle. They didn't have to throw that unnecessary ball. They could have built up with another 4 or 5 sets, and they're going to have to do this if they're going to go any further in the semi-finals, which start next week.
Sattler, now tackle. 10 metres into Newcastle territory. Flick out the back from Gower. Adamson decides to go forward. 30 metres out from the line. Rodwell throws the dummy. Where's the support? Comes late from Atkinson. The tackle was made by Perry. Bounces there for Carter. Off the foot. He takes Johns out of the play. Rudder gets it. Now Badiris saw open space in front of him and thought he better start running, but didn't have the pace. Davis is there. Nobody in support. Danny Badiris now goes over to acting half. They come the blind side. Simpson. Penalty.
Come back 10, boys.
Inside the 10, Ryan Girdler being penalised. And so the Knights will get a piggyback downfield.
Yeah, the Knights are certainly dominating to play the ball wherever you too. Quick play of the ball there. Pretty poor execution in tackling by the Penrith Panthers, and of course a quick play of the ball that saw the Panthers inside that 10 metres line. And now another golden opportunity for the Knights, 25 metres out from the Panthers line.
Johns. His passes. What are they setting up here, the Newcastle Knights? They're about 18 metres out from the line. Perry. Good defence that time from the Panthers. Adamson was around the legs. Greenhill over the top. Rudder. Peden on his inside, outside to Kennedy. Great ball to Robbie O, and O'Davis is over. Ben Kennedy got the ball away, and the Knights are in again. 3 tries in 12.5 minutes.
Well, what do you say? A game that came on the back of a penalty. The Knights 16 points, more than a point a minute at the moment. Ben Kennedy again, I guess the playmaker, they're able to offload that ball, but it certainly was a program move. Danny Badiris gets a good ball out to Sean Rudder. Kennedy runs tough, straight, offloads the ball to Robbie O, and they score a great try.
It certainly was a great try. Good pass by Kennedy, but Rudder just, look, he passes the ball into the gap. Kennedy ran there and he did very well to get that ball away for Robbie O'Davis. But as you said, Turvey, it all come off the back of a penalty, and the Panthers have really got to start to muscle up a bit. They're letting the Knights run around too much, making too many easy metres up the middle of the ruck.
16-0 at the moment. 21 out, 10 in from touch. He's on song tonight, Andrew Johns, 3 from 3. We've had 14 minutes at Marathon Stadium, and And the alarm bells are ringing for the Penrith Panthers. It's 18-0 to the Knights.
Well, the one thing the Panthers have to do, Mark and Brett, is just hold the Knights for a set of 6 and win that play the ball battle. At the moment, the Knights are creating mayhem and playing the ball quickly, and they've got to win the play the ball battle. In other words, the ball carrier has got to get up last to play that ball, so it allows your defensive line ready to meet the next onslaught.
Parsons. It's about 15 metres short of the halfway line. Newcastle's end of the field. Johns with the kick. Thought Rudder might have been fractionally offside. It's a very strong kick. Atkinson's got a hand to it. It's going to go over the dead ball line. No. Yes, it is. He thought he kept it in play with his knee, and he's tackled anyway. I thought it might have gone over the dead ball line without any assistance.
I think you might find there, Mark, that his foot was actually over the dead ball line when he's tried to kick the ball back in. Now there's his right foot there. See, he's still standing over the dead ball line.
Sorry, Brett, that just comes down with inexperience there. He couldn't let that ball. I agree with you, Mark Braybrook. The ball would have probably gone over the dead ball line, but now, through that mistake, we're going to see the Penrith Panthers drop the ball out, and again the Knights in a great field position to create another attack.
No ball, can't play, sorry, let's go home. Robbie O'Davis. Josh Perry now. Confidence growing here for Newcastle. You can see some real razzle-dazzle stuff here. Now Parsons. And there's a flick out the back to Johns. Almost through. Tackle had to be made there by Carl McNamara. Badiris from acting half. Adamson in there over the top. Sattler around the legs. 10 out from the line. John straight over his shoulder. Went backwards. Now Rudder. Cuts out Simpson. Gidley puts the ball onto the boot. Carter's there to knock it dead. Has it gone dead? No, Atkinson gets back.
By Tamana Tahu. Knocked on by Tamana Tahu to 20.
The referee said knock on by Tamana Tahu.
Yeah, I thought that was a good call by referee Stephen Clark. I thought Tahu did knock that ball on. But the Knights, they've just got everything covered here, and the Panthers are really struggling. Let's hope they can get a decent set of 6 and get the ball down the other end and put a bit of pressure on the Knights here at their home stadium.
31 metres out from their own line now, the Panthers. Sattler flooding there to Adamson. They were waiting for him then, the Newcastle Knights. Look at them. 3 of them in there to make the tackle. Sattler. You realise Adamson is the key man in the hit-ups for the Panthers. Pass inside there from Gower to McNamara. Over the halfway line. Last tackle here from Penrith. I'll be just happy to see the football. Rodwell kicks it away on the last. Tamana Tahu. He's got O'Davis with him, links with him now. And Craig Greenhill comes up with a good one-on-one tackle on the fullback.
I'm sure that their coach Michael Hagan will be saying that they have to respect the ball. Quite often we've seen the Knights go to a handy lead and then thrown some razzle-dazzle type passes around and given the opposition opportunities to get the ball back, and they've scored a few tries. So I'm sure that Michael Hagan again wants them to have a good set of 6 and get that ball down the other end.
Duke a little bit dusty in back play. He's back in his position on the wing in the hands of the trainer. Last tackle here for the Newcastle side. Johns Rudder, they're going to run it to Gidley. Now he puts the kick in. Dropping back there was Robbie Beckett. He does well. Gets away from Johns and returns the football magnificently. Beckett, a couple of metres short of halfway before he's tackled. Gidley made the tackle. That was where he kicked it from. Greenhill. Straight at Kennedy. 33 metres out from the Panthers line. Rodwell. Nowhere to go there. Scotty Sattler. Gower straight through. Where's the support? Ankle tap by Kennedy. Carter was on his left. Couldn't get the ball away. Now Rodwell. Here's Girdler. Pilatura on his outside. Kicks and will go touch in goal.
Well, a poor execution there at the end of that set of 6 by Ryan Girdler. The kick going too far. But some promising stuff there by the Panthers. Ryan Girdler bring the ball through for his winger, but it does go too far. And of course now the Knights will bring it out from their own 20-metre line with a set of 6 in front of them.
That's one!
Gidley tackled. They do have the wood on the Panthers, the Newcastle Knights. They've won 8 of their last 9 against Penrith. The only win for the Panthers was here last season. 32-26 they won. Perry, halfway through the first half. No changes as yet for the Newcastle side. Kennedy offloads back to Johns. He looks around and is now 10 metres short of the halfway line. Simpson. Tua there. Tony to make the tackle, about 5 short of halfway. Here's the last tackle. Andrew Johns looking for touch and finds it 25 metres out on the Panthers line. Penrith will get the loosened feed. Gives the opportunity for the players just to have a bit of a breather. Hasn't been too many opportunities. First scrum of the game, in fact, after 20 minutes of play.
Scott.
So while we've had some time off while they
Just keep your head.
have shots at goal,
Billy.
in general play there hasn't been too many breaks.
Thanks, buddy. Hold it there,
Stephen
boys.
Clark telling
Keep
both
it
the
in.
locks to
Call
keep
it
their
out.
heads in.
Out you go.
Carter. Girdler turning it back inside to Woods. Change being made for the Panthers. And the second change, Adamson coming from the field. Rodwell. Now Tony Puletua. Frank's on there as well. Frank's about to have a hit up. 5 short of the halfway line. Panthers enter the field. Gower out of acting half. Very quick out of there. 9 metres, 10 metres into Newcastle territory. Two tackles here, the Panthers. Cross. He takes the 5th tackle. What will they do here? Here comes Rodwell now, kicking back off the side of the boot, straight to McDougall. The kick there was Matthew Reed, Paul Reed, but McDougall was back there. Now Kennedy returning the football. Away from Cross, up to the halfway line. Great ball to Robbie O'Davis, and the Knights have gone 80 metres, and O'Davis has got a double, and we've only had 21 and a half. And there's the somersault for the try. What about the ball from Ben Kennedy? The Knights are in party mode early.
Well, that has come from, a bad or a poor kick, poor execution by the Panthers. Rodwell doing a banana-type kick. No pressure put upon the Knights at all. Here is the kick here. That's a banana-type kick. The ball goes to McDougall. The Panthers can't put McDougall down. And then look at the soft underbelly there for the Panthers. Kennedy able to beat 4 or 5, offloads the ball. Great support play by Robbie O'Davis, who's had a great game so far, scoring a couple of tries and does his little somersault.
Very good ball to Robbie O'Davis, who's always there. Whenever there's a try around, Robbie O'Davis is there.
4 from 4 for Andrew Johns, 24 points to 0. The Knights over the Panthers, and we're still 17 minutes out from half-time. I think that's about the 11th time this season the Panthers have failed to score in the first 20 minutes of a game. You just can't afford to do that. Very hard to win if you're still 0 or no points halfway through the first half.
Well, it's very hard to win too if you've just got no defence around that ruck area. There's just no respectability there around that ruck area. There's a mistake by the Knights, and so this gives the Panthers a golden opportunity to launch an attack 20 metres out from the Knights line.
Frank Puletua was the man that got an arm on the football. I don't think he deliberately did it. Just thrown into him. Now Greenhill, referee said he wasn't offside, so it's play on. Can the Panthers hit back? Carter, on ball to Rodwell. No support, they were running into each other, and Rodwell got smashed by Kennedy. Sattler, now Carter, stepping. Steve Carter had Cross on his outside, but couldn't get the arms free to throw the ball. Last tackle now for Penrith. Rodwell with the kick. Here comes Gower. He scored the try. Great kick there from the number 7. And Gower backing up magnificently is crossed, and the Panthers are finally on the board.
Well, that's a better result off a kick by the Panthers. Matthew Rodwell, pretty little grubber through. Craig Gower scoring the try. You can't really coach against a little grubber like that. The Knights coming up. Gower scoring the try, but I've got to say also that try did come from a Knights error a few tackles back before that. Nice little grubber there.
Yeah, it certainly was, Turbo. As you said, the Knights were a little bit carefree early on. They're throwing the ball around. They made a mistake.
This is game number 20 for Craig Gower. Girdler from adjacent to the uprights. Has little trouble, so the Panthers now trail by 18, 14 out from half-time. Newcastle 24, Penrith 6.
Well, this is going to be a great opportunity for the Panthers coming up to half-time to really sort of shut down this first half. I'm not saying play shut-up football. 14 minutes to go. Quite often we've seen the Knights go to a great lead. They did that last week also against the North Queensland Cowboys. They were also able to come back into the game. And so it's very important now for the Knights, particularly for their preparation for the semi-finals, which start next week. They get a home game next week, is to see a much improved defensive effort and showing a lot more sense of urgency around that ruck area.
A couple of changes being made for Newcastle. Glenn Grief, Paul Marquette, and also Clinton O'Brien on the field. So 3 changes there at least. Flick pass there from Gower. Atkinson. Has that ball gone forward? Yes, it did, says the referee. So the Knights, good field position. Frank Pulatua getting up with the football.
Well, you need the footy to score tries, don't you, Brett?
Well, you do too, but I guess the Panthers, their attitude is to throw the ball around and see if anything can happen. As we see Adam McDougall, something you won't see for a long time. McDougall dropped the ball. No pressure whatsoever.
Just looking where he was going to run. Fortunately for the Panthers, David Woods is down on the bench at the moment in the hands of the doctor. Luke Lewis is out on the field. There's Sattler throwing dummies, trying to stay in play. Back there to cross. In fact, Kadich is out in the field also. Here's Greenhill having a bit of a run. In fact, here comes Kadich now. Just getting up off the bench. Carter. There's a bit of a scamper. Copped the knock to the mouth. Now put the hand up. I think he's dislocated a finger, Steve Carter. Trying to put it back in himself. Play goes on and the Panthers come up with have lost possession. Badiris to O'Brien.
This is now a goal at Steve Carter there with a dislocated finger. A mistake again by the Panthers. Golden opportunity now for the Knights to build a constructive set of 6.
Grief straight through Sattler. Has he lost the ball? 2 in the tackle.
2 in there. There's 2 in there. Yeah, absolutely.
Gee, I thought that was a tough call, Mark. He lost that ball, or it was stolen.
Thanks, Jules.
Panthers were hard done by there, Brett.
Where are Danny?
Well, it's a tough rule. In my opinion, I've said this a lot, I don't like the rule, and it's very hard for the referee. Obviously, the players themselves, Greenhill felt he was the only one in the tackle. Another player comes and puts a hand on. That's classed as 2 in the tackle. So it's a tough rule. It's one that I'd like to see them get rid of.
Johns. And here's Grief again over the 20-metre line.
Here come Frank.
About 2 metres. Now Clinton O'Brien. 9 metres short of the goal line. Simpson. 5 metres short on the line. Here come the Newcastle Knights. Johns throwing dummies to Kennedy. It opens up. Long ball to McDougall. We're going to have a look at this for a shepherd or obstruction.
Yes, please. Just checking for I've got an obstruction up here.
Referee head to Mark.
John Gaisher, our video referee. I think this will be brought back.
Well, here it goes to Johns. 2 out. He dummies. Kennedy goes through. But for mine, Scotty Sattler and Matthew Rodwell missed that tackle anyway, and I thought that perhaps Johns could have scored himself through the long ball. For mine, I think that's a pretty fair try.
Well, I suppose, Tim, it is questionable, I guess. As you say, neither player actually got hampered too. They moved in. They didn't try and tackle him in the end. They let Johns run. But I just feel that they will rule obstruction there, but it is a tough one to rule on. See that? They still had opportunities to come across and take Andrew Jones.
Well, mate, 2 weeks ago in Melbourne, the Melbourne Storm had one disallowed, which I thought was a try. It was similar to that. Here's the decision from John Ghosh. I don't disagree with you, Brett. There it is, no try, penalty. First penalty of the game for the Panthers.
It's obviously a grey area in the game, but I just don't know what you can do about it. I don't think there's any rules you can bring in to try and prevent it. It's just something that's going to happen.
Thanks, mate.
Greenhill.
Got him one here, boys. Up we get.
35 metres out from the Panthers line. Frank Pulatua offloads to Katic. That ball went forward.
Forward up. Then Katic.
He was smashed as soon as he hit it. As soon as he got the ball.
Well, I've got to say, that's real B-grade stuff by the Panthers. Second tackle. They're struggling. Their defence is not good, and they're giving a quality side like Newcastle plenty of ball.
And great field position too, as Gidley has tackled. 35 out from the Panthers line, 9.5 out from half-time. Quett now tackled, 24-6. The Knights over the Panthers. Gidley, moving towards touch there by Robbie Beckett. Good solid tackle. Johns, Quett getting his hand on the football plenty of times since he's been on the field. Johns. Back inside to O'Brien, standing offload, great offload to O'Davis. Inside to Kennedy, he's lost it forward. John Cross juggles and regathers.
Hold! That's it.
Yeah, Robbie O'Davis trying to pass that ball, probably a little bit too hard. Kennedy had hold on to that ball, he probably could have scored that try. But again, a let-off now for the Panthers. Let's see if they can hold it for a set of 6.
Carter, Girdler. Inside Gidley, who made the tackle eventually. Now Adamson back on the field. 30 metres out from his own line, the Panthers have the football. Sattler. Great offload to Carter. He's on his own at the moment, trying to link up. Frank Pulatua back on the inside. He shows a bit of toe. Here's Adamson, and he's finally tackled, 25 out. Very quick play the ball. Kennedy lucky not to be penalised. Advantage being played. Now Lewis. Can he get his first try in first grade? Rodwell, Katic, Carter back on the halfway line in plenty of trouble for the Panthers in his final game. 22 metres out from the line. Here come the Panthers. Ordinary ball. Sattler had to wait for it. Now Girdler, Gidley in front of him, kicks for Beckett. To do the high jump, the hurdle. Comes up with a great tackle on O'Davis. There's another great tackle from Robbie Beckett. Carter's only just getting to his feet now. Halfway, hands on the head. Now McDougall. Looks like Carter may be coming to the touchline. There he is. Maybe just winded more than anything else. Last here for the Knights. As O'Brien plays it. Johns with the kick. It's a pretty good one. That's going to be a 40-20 if it gets to the touchline. It doesn't. Matthew Reed gets back there and takes the football. Daniel Abraham comes up with a tackle. And
it was a great kick by Andrew Johns, their playmaker. But also equally a good chase there by the Knights. There were 6 players up there in a line, and that's where they're winning the play the ball battle as well. The last man to get up is the ball carrier, and the Panthers are really struggling to penetrate the Knights' line.
Katic now plays it. There's Carter still on the field. Adamson, great driving tackle. Andrew Johns will sort the rib cartilage out a little bit. Katic, a couple of metres short of halfway. Last tackle. Sloppy play the ball. Now gets his kick out on the full. Well, that goes back to the basics. Learn to play the football. First year of playing.
Paul Gowie's frustrated, a comedy of errors there. Again, the Knights inside the Panthers half. 6 minutes to go. Another great opportunity for the Knights if they can make full value out of their set of 6 and put some pressure on the Panthers with only 6 minutes out from half-time.
O'Brien, good run over the 30-metre line. Badeiros at acting half, still going Badeiros. Now tackled 20 metres out. Right in centre field. You come right to Johns. Ball there to Paul Marquette, and he's now tackled on the last 15 metres out. Rudder at acting half. Badiris with the kick. Robbie O for a hat-trick before half-time. Has he got it down?
Okay. Onside and grounding, please.
John Gaisha to check the onside and grounding. Well, he's already got 2. Can he make it 3?
Well, Brett Kenny next to me has got the thumbs up. Again, very hard to coach against a little grubber like this. Danny Badiris putting a little grubber in. Robbie O'Davis sniffing around like a sparrow, picking up crumbs. He certainly gets the ball as he get it down. I think he does. I think I agree with Brett Kenny. The ball is down on the ground.
It's a very smart play. Oh, look, to be honest with you, I don't think Badiris was supposed to get the ball. I think he was supposed to come back the right side. And Badiris put a good little kick through. And as I mentioned earlier, if ever there's a try going to be scored, or there's a chance of a try being scored, that man, Robbie O'Davis, is always sniffing around. And there he was again on the spot.
There it is, Robbie O with the hat-trick. 5 out from half-time, he's already got 3 tries, and the Knights have already got 28 points, and that's hat-trick number 29 for season 2001.
Neither should I say, there's Robbie O'Davis, the try scorer. Great work by Badiris, putting a little grubber through. O'Davis hanging around, great support play, scores the try. Johns kicks the goal. That's a 6-pointer. And of course, I've got to say, this comes on the back of, again, another error by the Panthers kicking out on the full.
30 points to 6. We're 5 out from half-time at Marathon Stadium. And this season cannot end quickly enough for Royce Simmons. It has been a nightmare.
Stay, boys. Okay. Yep, no worries.
There he is. What do you say at half-time?
Well, I know Royce Simmons real well, Brett Kenny. We've both played with him in Origin and Tess, and he certainly does not know how to give in. But I am lost for words what he would say at half-time.
Well, it's certainly going to be difficult to address the side at half-time. I just think he's got to mention a few of the players that are leaving, Steve Carter in particular, and try and get these guys a little motivated to say, well, look, you know, we've got to try and help this guy, send him off in a good way, and forget the scoreboard, just have a very good performance in the second half.
The Knights now, Badiris plays it. This is Glenn Grief. About 2 metres short of the halfway line. Knights enter the field. Johns, long ball to Rudder, spins through the tackle. Can he get 4 before half-time? No, he passes it back to Rodwell. And Panthers have lost it.
First one, Ben Kennedy. Yep, first one, Ben Kennedy. That's you, I think. Ben Penrith.
Well, the Newcastle crowd certainly don't agree. A great big boo right throughout this terrific stadium here. Robbie O'Davis, this will show us, offloads the ball. In fact, it was the Panthers that fumbled that ball, and it should have been play on.
I called, he threw it straight to Rodwell. I thought it went straight to Matthew Rodwell. So you can understand the look of dismay on the face of Ben Kennedy.
Maybe an opportunity there for the video ref to step in.
5 short of halfway now, the Panthers. Caddick. Halfway line. Badiris, Marquette, Gidley in there. Making the tackle. John Cross. Driven back. Glenn Grief making the tackle this time. Rodwell. Adamson. Still going Adamson. Finally tackled. 30 metres out. Here's the last for the Panthers. Gower. Going to run it, Carter. Quick hands, Girdler's knocked it on. Keeps it on the toe, and Robbie O's come up with possession.
That's 0!
Well, they had the numbers out there. Again, the execution was pretty poor.
You'll never mark it, Ryan.
And just to really put the boot in when you're down, Steve Clark gives a penalty to the Knights. 2 minutes out from half-time.
Johns with a kick for touch.
Okay.
So he finds it about 4 metres into Penrith territory. Inside the final 2 minutes of the first half, Clinton O'Brien. Can the Knights go in again before the break? Johns, Rudder. Now McDougall. Almost through the tackle there of Lewis. Abraham. 12 metres short of the Panthers line. 30 points to 6, the Knights over the Panthers. Johns, Rudder, Johns. Now Hughes, Gidley. O'Davis is with him. Can he get 4 before half-time, Robbie-O? Now it goes back to Mark Hughes. He can't get it down from there. O'Davis from acting half. Go yourself, Robbie. He'll pass it to the left. Andrew Johns. Great ball there to Marquette. It's on the ground and Rodwell's come up with it. And the Panthers breathe a sigh of relief. You would expect them to keep possession until half-time. Although, the way they've gone in the first half, it's not a fait accompli.
Well, Mark, there was pretty good defence there by the Panthers. But I tell you what, they've lost the ball. Steve Clark scored for play on. But with 30 seconds to go, it's a long time since I've seen a halfback go around the 5'8", Brett Kenny, like the old wraparound.
Well, it doesn't. It's a move that's not been used too much, and I always believe it. I mean, it's an old move, but I think it's a great move. And I saw one the other week when the Northern Eagles played Parramatta, and while it wasn't the best one, admittedly best run around, it just happened that the player knocked the ball behind him. Kamali was on the way around anyway, and they come up with a try.
That should just about do us for half-time. The players are leaving the field. Steve Carter's over there for the scrum. Now the siren goes. He was on there on his own. Half-time here at Marathon Stadium. And what a first 40 minutes for the Newcastle Knights. Newcastle 30, Penrith 6. Panthers, that breeze that was at the back of the Newcastle Knights in the first half has just disappeared completely. So no advantage with any breeze for the Panthers in the second 40 as they have first use of the football through John
Back
Cross.
in, Knights. Let him up, Sean.
And they trail by 24. There's another knock on.
Off Ben Kennedy.
First of all by Kennedy though.
Ben Kennedy.
The referee says so. The Panthers will get the loosened feet, 20 out from their own line. Just got his hand in there, Ben Kennedy.
Again, Mark, offloading in a really a ridiculous position there. The Panthers don't need to do that. They need the ball, but they have got the ball back through Kennedy, knocking that ball on.
Luke Lewis now for the Panthers. Reek out of acting half. Abraham with the tackle. 10 metres short of the halfway line. Panthers enter the field. The last 40 minutes of the season for the Penrith Panthers. Adamson. 8 metres into Knights territory. Here's Gower. Trying to link up. Hand in there from Kennedy. Here's McDougall now. Here comes the cover. Reek chasing hard. He's away from Reek. Carter won't get him. And Adam McDougall scored in the corner. Ben Kennedy involved again, and the Newcastle Knights are on fire.
Well, I've got to say, that was a better set of 6 for the Panthers. Just poor execution at the end. Craig Gower being put under pressure there. There's the try scorer, Adam McDougall. That's his second try for the night. And partner in crime, Ben Kennedy. But you'll see it here. Gower, very flat there, offloads the ball. Goes to Kennedy. Now Kennedy looks on his left-hand side, gives it quickly to McDougall. He's a lot faster. And now McDougall cleverly outsprints the opposition and scores the try.
Toughest kick of the night now for Andrew Johns. Just a metre or two in from touch. 23 metres out. He's already kicked 5 from 5, looking to make it 6 from 6. He's kicked the ground behind the ball, just pulled it to the left. And so the score remains Newcastle 34, Penrith 6 at Marathon Stadium. We're just about to click over the 3-minute mark of the second half.
It's just incredible. 3 minutes in the first half. The Knights score a try as well. So there's basically they've repeated the same act as they did in the first half. Now the Panthers have got the ball. They've got to put it down there and at least get one good set of defensive six.
It'd be interesting to see too if the Knights score very quickly again, how long they will leave Andrew Johns on the field.
Here's Grief now with the return of the football for Newcastle. Sattler there making the tackle. Kennedy comes the blind side. Through the tackle of Lewis, offloads there. Hughes couldn't get his hand to it. Lewis comes again. He's now forced into touch.
No advantage, Newcastle knocked on.
Knock on against the Knights. No advantage to Penrith, so Penrith will get the loosened feed. Speaking about replacing Andrew Johns or looking forward to next week, does the coach in this situation for the Newcastle Knights, Stephen Brett, decide to try and play a little bit of, I suppose, semi-final football to get into the routine for next week?
Well, I think so, mate. I know if I was coaching the Knights, that's what I would have stressed at half-time. They've got an opportunity here where they're playing against a side that aren't going well, aren't putting a lot of pressure on them, so they should go out there in the second half and treat it as a semi-final, play accordingly, get their rhythm right, get all their plays going correctly, and of course, if they are able to come up with a couple of quick tries and leading comfortably as they are at the moment, I'd look to take Andrew Johns off and wrap him in cotton wool.
Rodwell now tackled. Last tackle here for the Panthers. 10 metres out from the line. Sattler. Here's Gower with the kick for the in-goal area. Tamana Tahu back there forces it in goal. We've got a goal line drop out.
Well, Mark, that was a pretty good set of six by the Panthers. They couldn't assault the try line or score the try, but just on that, pretty good crowd there too. Just under 18,000. It's a great rugby league town, this town, Newcastle. People from Cessnock, Maitland, Singleton, and even up there amongst all the vineyards. Those people that even like a Chardonnay come down and support the Knights.
Steve Mortimer looking forward to having one when he gets home. He's mentioned it about 9 times since we've been here.
You just haven't mentioned a brand name yet, too.
I just get excited when I'm driving up the freeway and I see Cessnock only 43 k's away.
Gidley now. Chance here for the Knights.
Oh, there, boys. Wait here with me.
28 metres out from their own line. Grief. Is it Marquette running across field? It's Paul Marquette. He's now tackled. Rudder offloaded the ball. Another turnover here for the Newcastle Knights. They won't be happy with that as Robbie Beckett has a bit of a gallop. Pushes away from Kennedy, who stays down on the ground. You're seeing there just behind acting half Gower. Gets back to his feet. Now Lewis is tackled.
And Mark, I've got to say, it's turnovers like that which won't please Michael Hagan when you're playing against a quality side, a higher side up in the top 8 come semi-final time. They can certainly basically capitalise on that and punish you because of your mistakes.
Well, there's an error here from the Panthers. Matt Adamson tried to offload. The ball went forward. This is Glenn Grief.
Now one! Oh, there, boys.
So Ben Kennedy got an accidental poke in the eye. He's in back play receiving a bit of treatment. Now Clinton O'Brien runs into Scotty Sattler. Brothers-in-law come into grips in Marathon Stadium. Spent time together this morning having a bit of a chat. 12 metres short of the halfway line. Newcastle now. Johns. Kennedy 5 short of the halfway line. Pilatua down in back play. Davis penalty. Adamson.
And a gain that has come on the back of a quick play of the ball. The Panthers' defence leaves a lot to be desired. 5-1 the penalties for the Knights, but again, there was no marker there. Quick play of the ball by the Knights. They really are ruling the roost at the moment here at Marathon Stadium.
Johns. This is Grief. 12 metres short of the goal line. Another chance here for Newcastle. O'Brien cut out. Rudder trying to get between Caddick and also Adamson and make the tackle. Johns inside to Hughes. Kennedy there. They're lining up now. Robbie O. He's tackled 5 out from the line.
Line, boys. Hold
He's
Scott.
looking for try number 4, which would equal a club record. Johns with the grubber. Atkinson back there runs it dead. And so another goal line dropout. When you consider already this year, 2 Knights players have scored 4 tries. Andrew Johns and also Adam McDougall. It was back-to-back in consecutive weeks.
He's got all the skills, hasn't he? Nice little deft grubber there by Johns. It puts the pressure back on the Panthers. They'll get the ball back. Full tribute to the Panthers, though. The defence has steeled up a lot more, a lot better rather, in the last 5 minutes. But again, a great opportunity for the Knights on the halfway.
With Glenn Grief. Runs at John Cross, to Scotty Sattler.
Back in, Penrith and wait. Wait. Up he goes.
Here's Clinton O'Brien. Thompson makes the tackle. Another quick play the ball from O'Brien. Badiris, Johns, Hughes, Gidley. 2 centres getting in the middle of the ruck. And therefore Marquette's out there playing right centre at the moment. They go right through Badiris. 4th tackle. There's a hand in
He's
there.
lost it.
He's lost it.
He
No.
lost it. No hand in that. Can't do much, mate. No way.
Well, does he lose it, or was it reefed out? For mine, I think Girdler might have just patted that ball a little bit out of there. Lucky to get away with that. Jenny Badiris sees the funny side of it.
I suppose you can when you're up 34
That's
to
1. Let
6.
him go, Mark. Sean.
Lewis. So it's been a tough year for the Panthers, but players like Luke Lewis, Luke Rooney have come along, Atkinson, Reynolds, have been some positives for the Panthers in 2001. Kulatua, being Frank, Rodwell, Sattler. He's 30 metres out from the line. Here's the last tackle for Penrith. With a kick across field. Tamala Tahu's back there. Leaping high. Takes it. Made that look so easy. Great timing, great judgment.
And that was a great take by Tamana Tahu. And again, any kids that want to be a winger or a fullback, that's what you do. You jump up and you turn and catch the ball and protect yourself there. Well done by the number 14, Tamana Tahu, who came in for Darren Albert at the last moment.
McDougall. 22 metres out from his own line. Grief. 15 short of the halfway line. Here's the last tackle for the Newcastle Knights. Johns with the kick across field. Into the breeze now, which is picked up again. Just as strong as it was in the first half. Just at half time, then it just died away to nothing. Now the Panthers do have the breeze at their back. Atkinson. Straight there, it's Steve Simpson. Right in centre field. They go left through Cross. Driving tackle by Grief over the top. Andrew Johns around the legs. Adamson. Spinning the tackle. Simpson there to make it. Peden back on the field. Carter, Rodwell, Lewis. Tackled there by Hughes and also Rudder. Here's the last tackle for Penrith. Rodwell with the kick. Davis is waiting for it. It bounces away from him. Will it go touch in goal? Yes, it does.
Thanks, mate.
Just got one of those extra hops and a bit of acceleration after it hit the second time.
Yeah, they keep going a little bit there too far, but you asked the question before about
Hold up, Danny,
resting
wait,
players, particularly key players like Andrew Johns and co. You cannot beat match fitness for training. The semi-finals just around the corner. And at the moment, really, the defence has not been hardened defence by the Panthers. So at the moment, I'm sure that Michael Hagan will be hoping that all players will come off unscathed. But again, the defence lacks a lot of bite by the Panthers, and hence we're seeing a good scoreline in favour of the Newcastle Knights.
Kennedy. Now Rudder. McDougall had to wait for it, dropped it. Did it go back or forward? Back, says the referee. Hughes. This is Billy Peden. Driving his way forward. Last tackle here for Newcastle. Johns. Back to McDougall. Straight through the tackle there of Cross. Goes himself. Hughes lining up. And Mark Hughes will score his first try of the night, and the Newcastle Knights 7th, and they lead by 38 points to 6.
Well, a fine try, a typical Newcastle Knights try, if you can say that, going through a number of pair of hands. Mark Hughes scoring the try. Again, the Panthers' defence leaves a lot to be desired. Denny Bedouris gets a nice ball to Andrew Johns, turns the ball back inside to McDougall, and they're just grabbing at him. And there's McDougall, able to make 20 or 30 metres, sees Mark Hughes, great support play, scores the try. They're a classy outfit with the ball, aren't they, Brett?
Well, they certainly are, Turv, and I think as a coach you like to see your wingers in around the middle of the ruck helping the forwards, and when you've got a man like this, Adam McDougall, and the size of the man, he's the guy you want there, and he was in the spot. Very poor defence by the Panthers, and did the right thing too. He had Bedouris on his inside, went outside, quick man Mark Hughes.
There he is, Andrew Johns converts the try. He's now kicked 30 of his last 32 attempts at goal, Andrew Johns. 40 points to 6.
Yes, the highest point scorer in the Knights' history since coming into the Premiership in 1988. But just on Adam McDougall, Brett Kenny, he likes to talk to his thighs sometimes and looks to down them before he goes out and says, don't let me down, boys. And they certainly didn't that time.
Certainly a great player, very strong player, and obviously you want him in top form coming into finals.
Girdler with the restart. Straight down to Robbie O. Can he get 4 tonight? Hat-trick by half-time. Clinton O'Brien. Billy Peden still standing. Thought he was going to pass the ball as he lost it. Referee says it went backwards. Peden dives on it again. Simpson, the 25-metre mark. Grief, solid run. 12 metres short of the halfway line. Bedouris. Simpson again, 5 metres short of halfway. It's the kick from Johns, deliberately kicked off the side of the boot. It's going towards touch. Will it find it? It does. That is just unbelievable.
Well, that seems to be the fashion in rugby league these days, that you've got to have the ability to do that. There's the banana kick again, if we could call it that. Andrew Johns, very similar position to young Bathan Astor when he played for the Bulldogs last night against the Dragons. Did much the same thing, a terrific kick. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't a 40-20.
I tend to think that Andrew Johns might have been a little bit disappointed with that kick. I think he was hoping it stayed in and gave his winger an opportunity.
Here's the Panthers. About 12 metres out from their own line. Sattler. Comes in Kennedy. O'Brien comes in as well. Driving back with McDougall. Straight through the legs of Pulatua. Kanek has come up with it. It was fortunate for the Panthers. Now, Gower. 25 metres out from his own line. Slowish play the ball. Sattler, solid hit from Kennedy. Gets the offload back to Kanek. Now Frank Pulatua. Here come the Panthers. Atkinson. Oh, he put the whistle in the mouth there. Stephen Clark took it out, and Atkinson will score under the post. What a try. The Panthers have scored the try of the match, and it came from nothing. Brett Atkinson. Under the post, 40 points to 10.
Well, I'll tell you something now. If this is a very close game, I'm sure that Stephen Clark would have put that whistle in and blown it hard. I thought it was a little bit forward. You'll see Stephen Clark just outside him, but a great play by the Panthers, not giving in. Great run by Pulatua. Here he is. He turns the ball back in. Now that goes forward for 9. Great support play by Atkinson, but Brett Kenny and Mark, you can see Steve Clark was about to blow the whistle and said, oh, well, why not let a good try go?
Well, I suppose you might have had that attitude, but realistically speaking, he should have blown it up because it was a forward pass. But they did this in the first half, the Panthers. They had a couple of tries scored against them early, come up with a very good try. They've done the same thing again here. It was great backing up, great support play. let's hope now that can give them a little bit more confidence and they forget about the scoreboard, as we said, put in a better performance.
From right in front, Craig Girdler should have little trouble. He does convert the try, so Newcastle 40 lead the Panthers 12.
Well, here it is here. Pilatua running the ball, turns the ball around. That goes no further forward than a quarterback in American football throwing it to one of his online runners.
You can see Stephen Clark there quite clearly. Put the whistle in the mouth and thought, no, it wasn't forward. Johns with the restart. Greenhill, and even the fans don't care here. Normally, they would have torn the place down. But when you're up by 40, it doesn't have the same impact. Tony Pilatua now.
Well, I'll tell you one bloke that does care at the moment. That'll be the coach of the Knights, Michael Hagan. 40 points to 12 scoreline. He'll want to see them muscle up in defence and keep the Panthers at bay and not score any more points with 20 minutes to go.
10 metres short of the halfway line. Rodwell back to Caddick. Just about 4 metres short of the halfway line. Greenhill. 5 metres into Newcastle territory. Last tackle here for Penrith. Now Rodwell with the kick, looking for touch. It won't find it. O'Davis is there. Good chase there from the Penrith side. A wall of black jumpers in front of him. McDougall tucking under. Can Penrith narrow this scoreline? At the moment it's 28 points. They'll be keen to get at least another try. Make it 24. There's now Parsons. 12 metres short of the halfway line. Great ball again. Josh Perry up the middle of the ruck. Who was that? Matthew Gidley. Last tackle here for Newcastle. Johns kicks. Awkward bounce there for Reek. He did well though. You could hear those footsteps coming as the ball bounced away from him. Lewis. Atkinson now. Solid tackle there. Talk about Andrew Johns and his work in attack, but he does get through a mountain of defensive work also.
And that's been great defence there, Mark, and that's exactly what Hagan would want from them coming up into the semi-finals. A lot stiffer defence and a lot more aggression in the defence. And the Knights, I feel, have done that pretty well here tonight at Marathon Stadium.
Sattler dummying inside, taking the ball himself. There were Newcastle defenders between he and the runner. Now, the kick over the head there of Adam McDougall and finds touch. The Knights will get the loosened feed, 20 out from their own line. They lead by 40 points to 12. We've got 19 minutes left of this match and 19 minutes left of the season for Penrith. And 19 minutes left in the Australian career for a number of their players, including captain Steve Carter. And Craig Gower has 19 minutes left to impress for a kangaroo berth.
Scott, Billy. No. When you're ready. Out you go, Scott, you're right.
Davis. This is Tamana Tahu. In an acting half. Billy Peden. A bit of a roll here, the Knights from the scrum win. Tony Pilatua making the tackle with Carter. Parsons. Solid hit there by Frank Pilatua, his brother Tony. Forcing him towards touch on the far side of Marathon Stadium. Just under 18,000 people here to watch this game. It's now Simpson over the halfway. Caddick there with the tackle. It's tackle number 4. Perry straight through Carter. Went to link up with Gidley on the outside, but the ball went forward. In fact, it was Tamana Tahu. Got through the defence, but as he went to throw the ball, lost it forward.
Well, here's Perry busting the line. He's only young at the moment, and he's certainly going to be a player that will be etched in for potential representative honours in the future. That ball going to ground, but Josh Perry is absolutely dangerous with the ball in his hand. Has formed a great partnership with Matt Parsons in the front row for the Knights.
Lewis taken to ground. So the Knights making plenty of line breaks tonight. That missed tackle count. Highest tackle penalty. It's the caution on the run there by referee Steve Clark.
Well, it was high. It was a bit of a slat, but gee, I tell you what, after what we saw early in the first half, I don't think there was much of a problem there. The Panthers again lose the football.
Carl McNamara just back on the field has come up with the error.
And that's been the tale of the woes for the Panthers. They get a penalty. First tackle, they can't even play the ball. They drop the ball and give it to a side that can basically score a try from anywhere on the field. The opportunity to score more points yet again.
Here's Parsons.
Hang on, you got your train. Just go and get the blood cleaned up. Mate, keep them down, eh?
Wilson being cautioned for a high tackle. Quick tap here from Johns. He's caught the Panthers napping a bit. And their backs turned. So they're back on the attack again. Rudder, Peden. He's about 18 metres out from the line. Parsons. Down with the tackle around the legs. Sattler over the top. Great Greenhill in there also. Rudder, Johns. Cut out ball on the ground. Clean bowls everyone. And goes into touch. You don't see that too often from Andrew Johns.
Well, the Knights were set there, but probably, if anything, to criticise them about, they were standing too flat. Andrew Johns threw the ball. There was about 3 or 4 Knights in front of him. So the ball goes out. The Panthers get the ball 15 metres out from their own line and a chance hopefully to impress and to work their way down the other end of the field.
Robbie Beckett, his tackle 20 metres out from his own line. Sattler links up with Lewis. Heads across field, straightening. Girdler. He's now 30 metres out from the line. Tony Puletua almost had the arm free there. He was wrapped up by Rudder. Girdler again from acting half. Sattler picks up a loose ball, links up with Greenhill. Here's a chance for the Panthers. No one in support. Last tackle he calls. Hey, Greenhill wasn't happy. Here's the last. The kick from Gower. Tamana Tahu back there to clean up. And almost through. Beat Girdler, but couldn't get away from Carter. Now Johns. Running space here. Peden. Back to Robbie O. Badiris tackled right on the halfway line. The Newcastle chant comes up from the crowd. Parsons. Standing. Couldn't offload. Greenhill had him wrapped up. Right in centre field. Now Perry at Adamson and Sattler, they make a tackle, a driving tackle. Badiris. Simpson's lost it. It's on the ground. They go back or forward off the hand of Girdler. Referee says play on, 6 to go. Tamana Tahu. Still going Tahu. He's had the ball stolen. The tackle was complete.
On the ground. Tackle was over. Yep.
Robbie O'Davis, quick, play the ball. Now they go through Johns. Now Hughes, out the back, McDougall for the corner. He's got himself a double. A quick tap from the Newcastle Knights. And Adam McDougall has scored his second try of the night. And the Knights are heading towards 50. They've got 44. The Panthers have 12.
Well, clever stuff there by the Knights. Taking a quick tap, getting the penalty rather than going for goal. Great opportunity to work some attacking drills. Andrew Robbie Davis, takes the quick tap to Rudder, to Johns. And then Hughes finds McDougall on the sideline, scores a regiment try. Well done, Newcastle.
Well, I've got to say, I thought it was a little bit rough, the penalty given against the Panthers, but Johns did well. Hughes got on the outside of Lewis, and that's when it created the problem. He was able to get the one-arm pass around the corner to McDougall, who went over for a very easy try.
Kick from touch here for Andrew Johns. He's a metre in this western touchline, 23 metres out. Struck that one a lot better. Straight over the blue dot here at Marathon Stadium. Andrew Johns. Tremendous kick. 7 from 8 he's kicked.
Historically, teams with the best defensive record in semi-finals goes all the way. And certainly the Knights, a great attacking team as they are, will want to improve their defence and become a real premiership threat in this competition.
Jeremy, one thing I think I'd be looking at is to take Andrew Johns off and then look at a few players and like Sean Rudder, possibly Mark Hughes, Matthew Gidley, and just tell them that they've got to start to control the play. Put a little bit of responsibility back onto these guys, just see how they handle it, because it's been well documented how poorly this side seems to go with Andrew Johns is not there. Good opportunity now to put a little bit of responsibility onto some of these other guys.
Here's Robbie O'Davis throwing dummies. Now Johns out the back to Rudder. Here's Gidley. Another chance for the Knights. Tahu on his outside. They're lining up on the inside, so he kicks. McDougall will get a hat-trick. If the bounce is good, it is. He's got himself a hat-trick. It's a hat-trick at Marathon Stadium. The Knights have hit the half-century. We playing cricket or what?
Well, what a try. What a typical Knights try. There's the crowd. All areas around Newcastle, the Hunter, the Coalfields, all there. They love their Knights. They can do no wrong. Started here, Danny Badeiras, off over the ball, goes to a number set of hands. Johns flip over the top. Great work by Gidley. This is a beautiful pass, well timed. Tamana Tahu kicks the ball back in. He sees 3 or 4 Knights there, and Alan McDougall says, "Thank you very much, it's mine."
Well, it certainly was a great try. I've got to say, when Tamana Tahu had the ball, he had 4 or 5 nice players on his inside, and I thought, oh, geez, all we got to do is pass. He's elected to kick, but it just shows you the skill of these players. I mean, it was a very good kick, great chase, and now we see McDougall come up with a hat-trick as well.
And he's also scored 4. Johns converts, makes it 8 from 9. He scored 4 tries against New Zealand Warriors in New Zealand. Round number 20. So the chase is on between Robbie O and McDougall. The bounce, he had to do some work there to get the ball down before he went over the dead ball line as well at that pace. Can he get to 4? Can Robbie O get to 4?
Well, there's not much time left, but I think that's a good point that Brett Kenny did bring up with Andrew Johns, their chief playmaker, game breaker, whatever you like to call him, is to see if they can play a little bit without him to develop their own sort of style. Although you've only got 9 minutes to go, I'm sure that Michael Hagan wants them all to get some excellent match fitness out of this. You can't beat that for training, and the Knights have played very well.
Beaten now. 9 tries and 8 goals for the Newcastle Knights. 3rd time I think they've hit 50 points this season. Which is not a bad achievement. Even though the Panthers have been very disappointing, it's pretty good form to have heading into the playoffs. There's the pass from Johns, knocked down by Sattler. Now, as we've alluded to a couple of times throughout the game, Michael Hagan will be totally satisfied with the performance today.
No, I don't think. I think the second half, obviously, better performance than the first half, but there's been a few parts in their game. Their defence has been a little bit lackadaisical at times. That's something they've got to pick up, especially in the finals. But overall, I guess he's probably very happy if we see another break, possibly a try.
Mark Hughes, he will have the pace to get away from Luke Lewis, and Mark Hughes gets himself a double, and it's now 56 points to 12. They are queuing up here at Marathon Stadium.
Dead ball on him.
He's going to check to see whether it's over the dead ball line.
I thought also he might have checked if Adam McDougall blocked a couple of Panthers players in the progress of Mark Hughes, but no, they're looking for, does he ground the ball before his legs go over the dead in goal line? Can't tell from there.
I think he's grounded it in plenty of time. I think there he goes. I think Adam McDougall would have been a little bit disappointed he didn't pass the ball back on the inside. Would have given him 4, but now there's no problems there. There's the ball being grounded. Actually, it's probably a little closer than I thought.
That's fair enough.
Well, it's a try for mine.
I think it'll be a try. The Knights will go to 56. There it is, try to Mark Hughes. He has a double. Adam McDougall and Robbie O'Davis have hat-tricks. And the Knights are 56 not out with a kick to come. And he's missed another one. Andrew Johnson's missed 2 in a game.
He missed, I'd sack him. What a great player he is. Mark, you touched on it before about, here we see the try. Mark Hughes looking inside, pulling past the McDougall. No, you've had enough. It's my turn to score a try. He goes around and improves his position. Does come close to putting his legs over the line before grounding the ball, but it was a try. Great try by the Knights. But just to answer your thoughts or your question about would Michael Hagan be happier, sometimes you can only play as well as the opposition lets you, and I know that Michael Hagan would like a more formidable opposition than what the Panthers have offered here tonight, particularly in defence. But nevertheless, the most important thing I think for the Newcastle Knights coach and their manager Mark Sargent would be that they do escape injury-free.
Here's Paul Moquette back on the field for the Newcastle Knights. He's scored 3 tries in 5 minutes, Newcastle. Abraham, the 30-metre line, 6 minutes remaining. 6 minutes left in the season for Penrith. Nightmare finishes. Medeiros. Marquette, here's Adam McDougall. Robbie's there as well. And Marquette wanted to try on his own. Keeps it alive to Johns. Now to Gidley. Where's Robbie O and where's McDougall? Johns has got the ball. 6 to go, says the referee. The Knights looking to make it 60. Tamana Tahu, can he get the ball down? He's over the line. They've got to 60. Tamana Tahu has scored the try. And Newcastle have hit the 60 barrier.
Well, Darren Albert is out injured. You think they'd miss him? Well, they're replacing with a fella called Tamana Tahu, who is every bit as good as Darren Albert, who scored that famous try back in the 97 grand final. But again, it went through a number of pairs of hands. Marquette doing a good thing, keeping the ball alive. Andrew Johns face balls to Rudder. Gilly keeps the ball alive. It does touch the Panthers. Referee Steve Clark says 6 again. And here is the try. Tamana Tahu, quick play the ball. Beats 3 or 4 Panthers. Absolute drive, sees the line, puts the ball down. A great try for the winger.
Andrew Johns now to try and make it 9 from 11. He's hit the posts. He's not happy about it either. 60 points to 12, 4.5 minutes of play remaining. My rough clock, they've scored 4 tries in 8 minutes, the Knights.
Well, this again, very sloppy defence, but Tamana Tahu very strong as well, and you can see there was an opportunity to have a good run from dummy half. Went over for a great try, but I think from a goal kicker's point of view, Andrew Johns probably would be a little bit disappointed. I guess he's coming into finals football next week, and he'd want to be feeling confident about his goal kicking, and we've seen he missed the last couple, so it's probably no surprise to see him a little bit disappointed.
Girdler now to get the play underway again. 11 tries. He's got plenty of practice of this in this game throughout the season. Davis. It's not very often you see a player score 4 tries in a match, so it'd be nice to see either Robbie O or McDougall get another. It's not too often you see a player score 4 tries in a match twice in one season.
You've got to say, Mark, you want the Panthers' head on a plate.
You've got to have something to cheer for, I suppose, at the end. Here we go again. Who's lining up this time for the Newcastle Knights? Gidley's there, the kick for Tamana Tahu. Caddick is back there. Caddick will win the race. Well done, Ned Caddick. Great chase from the forward. He was the only one back there, and he showed plenty of toe to knock it dead.
He certainly did. Plenty of ticker, plenty of toe. Gidley, a nicely weighted kick for the Knights. Again, some pretty terrible defence there around the ruck area for the Panthers. And there we see the break. Abraham making that break, passing the ball to Gidley, and Caddick beats the Knights. Well done by the number 16 for the Panthers.
There's the restart. Of course, Matthew Rodwell with that restart. He's retiring as well. He's had a tremendous career. Now 32 metres out from the line. The Newcastle Knights, Clinton O'Brien. Can they put some more points on the board before the siren goes in 2 minutes and 10 seconds? Here's Rudder. Now Gidley flicked it back, and Tamana Tahu couldn't get a hand to it. And that may be the last opportunity for the Newcastle Knights.
Well, Mark, we've seen a few little errors. Steve Clark discussing with the Panthers. I'll get the feed, and they'll get the ball, and they'll have one set of 6 before it goes back to the Knights. Probably 2 sets of 6 left in this game. But the Knights have played pretty well, pretty good football. A 30-6 scoreline at half time. They've done the same thing in the second half. So Michael Hagan, I think, will be impressed with that.
Atkinson's come up with an error. There's not a great deal you can say about that. The young fullback. Very disappointing. It's been that sort of a year for Penrith. And Steve Clark signalled time off. They would love that, wouldn't they? The Panthers, they're trying to wind the clock down as the career winds down on Steve Clark.
Time on, and you go, Croak.
Now he signals time on. Johns, Rudder, about 18 metres out from the line. Billy Peden thought about popping the ball on the outside there to Paul Marquette, but kept it 10 metres short of the line. Badiris, Rudder, intercept. Hughes was unmarked, but Matthew Reek gobbled it up. McDougall's chasing. He's just trying to keep him out wide because he won't catch him. And Matthew Reek has scored a try, and the Panthers finish the season with a 4-pointer at least to Matthew Reek.
Well done, the number 5, Matthew Reek. He's got a great career ahead of him. He took the intercept. The Knights launching on the left-hand side of the field, trying to find Mark Hughes there. Reek intercepts the game, but I know the Panthers were absolutely hell-bent on putting a good old-fashioned set of defensive set of 6 against the Knights and not letting them score, and they certainly have stopped the Knights scoring. In fact, they've come up one even better and scoring the try. There's the intercept. It doesn't go to Mark Hughes. It should have gone to him, and the Knights would have been in. But there's Reek carrying the ball. You can see Adam McDougall in his sights there, puts the ball down, and he will score the last try of this game in the last round of the NRL 2001 before the semis kick off.
Steve Clark trying to get all the players back behind the goal line. They're all on the halfway line shaking hands. There's players everywhere near where Ryan Girdler's about to try and convert the try. As the Knights just move away now to give him that opportunity. Embarrassing scoreline for the Panthers, but they finish with a try. And Girdler, 20 metres out. About 16 metres in from the western touchline. He struck it pretty well. He keeps his perfect record for the night intact. But it's a thumping win for the Newcastle Knights that defeated the Penrith Panthers by 60 points to 18 and assured themselves of 3rd place on the competition table.
Well, they scored 30 points in the first half, 30 points in the second, or 30 points to 12 scoreline in the second half. I don't think Michael Hagan will be too worried about that. We see the players exchanging comments to each other. It is the end. There's Scotty Sattler. He can hold his head up high. Andrew Johns again the catalyst for many of those tries. They're back here again next week. Not a bad scoreline to go in to the semi-finals. They will now play the 6th team, and that's still going to be a lottery. We won't know that result till the end of the round, which finishes tomorrow night.
Tremendous finish for the Newcastle Knights in the premiership rounds at home. Of course, they have a home semi-final. What a game Ben Kennedy had tonight. Set up tries, scored by Robbie O'Davis. And he was in outstanding form.
He wasn't too bad either, Adam McDougall.
No, he certainly wasn't.
He got plenty of strike power. I'm a big Matt Parsons fan.
Let's go downstairs. Brett Kenny has Robbie O.
Yeah, Robbie, it was a great performance by the Knights tonight. Something that I guess you really needed a week out from the finals.
Yeah, I think we're just a bit disappointed that they went on holidays like a week too early because we needed a really good hit out. So the ball stuck and a lot of tries are scored. I think the 11th years with the Knights, it's been the first time I scored 3 tries, so I'm stoked at the moment.
Yeah, it was a hat-trick of tries, and Adam McDougall, of course, come up with a hat-trick as well. And I guess it was a contest between the two of you to see who was going to get the 4th.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing on the opposite side of the field scoring all those tries, but it was a good battle in the end. But I hope just we can continue the form heading into the finals next week. We have got a home semi. Not sure we play yet, but with that sort of ball control, I think we can probably hold us a good stead for a good win and a good home game next week. Yeah.
But you mentioned the game, and probably there was the parts of the game where you didn't go that well. First half, I felt in particular, you sort of dropped off a little bit with intensity because you've got to go to a great start. I mean, you scored in the first 3 minutes. But what did Michael Hagan say at half-time in regards to that?
I think it was just mentioned that Balmain game a couple of weeks ago. We did exactly the same, went in there leading by so far, and he just said, don't drop your intensity, keep it going. We got out there and we sort of held on the ball. If you held on the ball in games like this, you're not going to lose those. So that's what we did. And we had a little bit of fun in the end. So.
Well, congratulations on your form tonight. Good luck next week in the finals.
Thanks, Bert.
Thanks, Robbie.
Robbie O'Davis downstairs with Brett Kenny. Hat-trick tonight for Robbie O'Davis. There's Darren Albert out on the field with the players. Full time here at Marathon Stadium. Newcastle 60, Penrith 18. A break and we'll come back to wrap it up. And back here at Marathon Stadium, the Newcastle Knights players doing a lap of honour, their final premiership game. Of course, they do have a playoff match next weekend to play, but this is the last opportunity at the end of the premiership. 26 rounds have been completed for them to say thank you to their fans, and what loyal fans they are. And they've been entertained tonight by a 60 points to 18 victory by the Newcastle Knights over the Penrith Panthers. Andrew Johns there as the players walk around. Darren Albert was out there as well, of course missing tonight through to injury, and Steve Mortimer. A good performance by the Newcastle Knights, but how do you read their form heading into the playoffs, and what will coach Michael Hagan's thoughts be, do you think?
Well, I think it's pretty good. You can only play as well as the opposition lets you. They amassed 60 points. Yes, they dropped a bit of ball today, but I think Michael Hagan will be very impressed that they kept them only to 3 tries, and that last try really was an intercept. So really it was 30-6 in the first half, then 30-6 in the second half, and that's a pretty good stat if you're a coach of the Newcastle Knights.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights from the second half. Well, there were plenty of highlights in the second half. The first try we're going to look at is Adam McDougall's second try. It was a quick tap taken by the Knights.
It came on the back of a Penrith Panthers mistake. You know, going through a good number of sets of hands. Adam McDougall, he got a hat-trick tonight, scores the try, but great quick thinking by Robbie O'Davis.
Yeah, quick tap taken there by O'Davis. Caught the Panthers short, but a great ball here from Hughes.
And a great support play by the Knights. They love playing great attacking football, and they are known for that. And of course, Adam McDougall scores that try in the corner and increased their lead.
And speaking of Mark Hughes, he was involved. He scored himself a double tonight as well. And it was a great team try by the Newcastle Knights. There's one thing about the Knights, once they get a bit of momentum, a bit of confidence, they are a great team to watch.
Again, on the back of a Panthers mistake from the scrum, Johns McDougall, Mark Hughes has got the ball there, looks inside, runs down the sideline. Adam McDougall, he could have passed to him. He said, no, I'll score the try, thank you very much. And a great ball by Adam McDougall. He pulled in 2 players there, left space there for Mark Hughes. He looks inside and he scores the try. And it's, again, a typical Knights try coming on the back of a Panthers mistake.
Well, let's have a look at the score summary. It was 30 points to 6 at half-time. An amazing first half for the Newcastle Knights and a great second one. O'Davis a hat-trick, McDougall a hat-trick, Hughes a double, Rudder, Perry and Tahu scoring tries, and Johns kicking 8 goals, 11 tries in all for the Newcastle Knights. The Penrith Panthers crossed for 3. Gower, Atkinson and Matthew Rigg that intercept at the end of the game, and Ryan Girdler kicked 3 from 3. So the Newcastle Knights, as they say goodbye to their fans after the final premiership match, as we mentioned, they will be back next week to play a home playoff game. But they had a thumping win over the Panthers. They are confirmed as third place in the competition. The Penrith Panthers, they have to wait tomorrow to see whether the North Queensland Cowboys can cause an upset over the New Zealand Warriors in New Zealand, to see whether they've avoided the wooden spoon. So that's a nervous wait for them. You'd have to back the New Zealand Warriors in their form to win that game tomorrow, but it is a nervous wait for the Panthers. The Penrith Panthers season is over. A couple of players retiring. Congratulations, Steve Carter in particular. Matthew Rodwell, another one, of course, going on into his retirement, but it's been a tough year for them.
Yes, all they can look forward to is year 2002. As Brett Kenny touched on it before, they're losing 17 out of 40 contracted players. So Roy Simmons has got to regroup, buy some more players, and they'll be a lot more competitive.
Well, it was a tremendous win tonight for the Newcastle Knights. They go into the playoff picture in form. There is the coach, Michael Hagan, saluting the crowd, I should say, with Matthew Gidley in front of him. They go into the playoffs in great form. 60 points they scored tonight, and who their opponent will be next week remains to be seen. The NRL action continues as we head down the F3, down to Gosford. It's North Power Stadium, the Northern Eagles at home to Brisbane. Your commentator, Warren Smith.
This has been a Fox Sports production for the National Rugby League Partnership.